What you waiting for? It's time. Time for love. It's time. Time for the sun and sand. It's time. Time for fun. It's time. It's time. It's time to let your hair down. Come on. Come on. Come on. To have no fear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's time. What you waiting for? It's time. 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 What you waiting for?
Welcome. It's Masters Weekend, my favorite show to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Merv Brito Show. My name is Merv Brito, and Joanne, coming up on today's show.
Okay, we'll be talking about the Bombay High Court in Goa quashing the Ponda Assembly by-election. Plus, we'll also be talking about the Gen Z government, as I would say.
Gen Z?
No, Gen Z government in Nepal. And then also today is International Human Spaceflight Day. So obviously there's a lot of space talk in the news at the moment, so it's an apt day to be broadcasting.
And why are we not talking about the Masters, the one and only Masters in Augusta, Georgia?
Yeah, come on, Rory.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the show. As we always do when we start the show, I always like to say thank you to our team that puts us all together, starting with the one and only Mr. Ajoy Barreto.
काय झालं सगळे बरं आहात
मराठी माणूस
होय
तुला माहित आहे मराठी
whatever that language was sucks.
Mr. Wilbert Cardozo.
Hello everyone, hope you're having a wonderful weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't have a mic in front of him, but we always say hello to him. He's a big part of the show, Mr. Neil Rodricks.
Hey guys, have a good weekend. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Did you say Jai Hind? How's it, Josh? And last but definitely not the least, you've already seen the pretty face, you've heard the lovely voice, the one and only. This is the round of applause getting louder, Joanne.
Way.
The studio audience, the one and only, the wordsmith, the wordinator, the breakfast queen, the one and only Mrs. Joanne Barreto.
Hi everyone, hope you had a great Easter Sunday and hope you've had a great week also.
Joanne, how excited are you about the Masters?
Well, I'm extremely excited. I'm a little bit concerned that Rory's lead was actually reduced overnight.
He's running away with it.
However, I really hope he holds his nerve and he can do it today by the end of the weekend.
I'm sure he can, start to finish. He's the man.
Because he's defending his title from last year.
Back to back, 10 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, we do this show every week live from Goa, so you can tell by the screw-ups and the fun and the laughs and the stuff we do on the show. It is the only live broadcast show we do every week. We had a great set of guests on the show last week.
Yeah, we did.
And I was so happy with the responses that a lot of people that mentioned and spoke to us about it. This is the only live broadcast show. We do this weekly from Goa. You don't have to be Goan or even Indian. You have to be somebody with a connection to Goa, this place we call home. We send a lot of shout outs and we wish people and we talk about topics here that are trending locally, but also around India and the world.
Absolutely.
So if you want to get in touch with us and tell us what you think, what you feel, how you feel, your views, and leave us a comment or anything you'd like to say to us, get in touch with us. Our social media handles are on the screen right now.
Yep.
We're on everywhere you get your social media. Hit us up, the Merv Brito Show. You can call us live if you don't believe we're doing this live and you want to send a shout out and test us. 750-7246-246. Get in touch with us. Say hello to somebody. Tell us what you're thinking. Leave us a comment. You can check out more about the show, previous episodes, and the people we've just introduced or spoken to right here as part of the team on our website, www.themervbritoshow.com. As you mentioned, we've got a couple of very interesting topics we want to talk about. Where are we going to start this Sunday?
Okay, so we're going to start with the Ponda Assembly by-election that was actually called off only the day before it was due to happen. So the Bombay High Court in Goa actually said because there's only 1 year left of the Legislative Assembly.
She said it.
It's a bit of a tongue
Coordinator was
twister.
stumped.
Yeah, the word native just got stumped.
Oh, no, it's just getting my tongue
Legislative
around
Assembly,
it.
go on.
Yeah, it's basically because there's less than a year left of the 5-year term to complete. They decided that they would call off the by-election that was supposed to be happening on the 9th of April itself.
Why, can I ask?
Well, I mean, that's what's puzzled everybody.
So basically, this is for the Ponda seat.
Yeah.
And the Ponda seat was held by Ravi Naik, who I believe is no more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He passed away recently.
Yes, sadly, yeah.
So obviously, the show must go on from a
Yeah.
political sense and from a administrative sense. So the Election Commission of India decided to have a by-election to fill the seat, to find a new representative.
Yeah.
But there's a law that says that if there is less than 1 year remaining before we actually go for a regular election, then you don't have to. But clearly the ECI forgot its own rules.
Did they actually rescind they were going to do the election, and then the High Supreme Court, law of the land, stepped in, right?
Well, the High Court in Goa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing. Only the day before it was supposed to happen. But my concern is, are those people being represented in Ponda? I mean, it's ultimately you have to be representing the people, and there has to be somebody to be able to speak up for their rights.
You mean to tell me nobody knows about this? Nobody caught this in advance?
Nobody caught this in advance. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. Even the people that should have known didn't know the rules, and this is shocking, really. And in fact, because of this by-election, there were some clampdowns on, in my opinion, freedom of speech.
Okay.
In Panjim, they had imposed no congregation rule. You cannot assemble because of this by-election. So a lot of things have been curtailed because of this. So at this election that never happened. And it happened for nothing.
There's a lot of stuff that happens, Ajoy, and it scares me because we've been around for a long, long time here in this place we call home, and I've seen things like the jamming of signal, not being these new rules and laws that have been around for a while, I'm sure. But some of these ones where you can't congregate, you can't have more than 5 people congregate. Everybody, when they had a qualm, when they had a problem, would gather in Azad Maidan. I can't speak, dude.
It's catching.
In Azad Maidan in Panjim, and they would have morchas and demonstration and strikes or whatever. Now there's a new rule. Is that the case? Is that against the law now to gather in numbers more?
Because of this election. So historically with elections, you cannot, they clamp down on assembling because of law and order situation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I'm more concerned when I'm not able to drink. Can't get a drink because of this.
But did you give it up for Lent like me? I lasted 46 days.
Yes, I gave up. I've been giving up for the past so many years now.
You've given up. That brings us to a very, very good story about the Goa Cashew Festival.
Yeah.
Willie, you know all about this. Your mom organizes and invited us all. Did anybody go to the festival?
No, because you said if it's the Old Monk Festival, I'm going.
I'm there, man.
You're not a
I'm not a
Feni.
cashew person. There was a cashew festival on the 10th, if I'm not
Well, it
mistaken,
finishes
yesterday.
today. It was a 3-day
it's a 3-day
festival. Yeah, down in Panjim. So obviously it's been well publicised, and there's lots of great bands that are also playing and everything. So it would have been fantastic. I think you were a little bit put off by trying to cross the bridge, really, weren't you?
I know how to cross the bridge, mate. It was more about the fact that I'm not a big cashew person, but that's part of our Goan culture. Cashew and Feni and the drinks that are being Urrak and Mad and all these drinks. They're local. They're part of the heritage. So it's nice to be able to celebrate this. It's a 3-day thing. It's finishing today.
Yeah.
But cashew's not my thing, Ajoy.
Mauve, you cannot say that, mate. Especially since we are promoting Goa on the show, and you are the embodiment of Goa from Saligaon.
They have Old Monk Cashew.
Baba Goenkar, tumi odamag dako maka dhauni ata.
Listen, at least you can participate in these mud wrestling contests. Let's make it a.
Are you serious?
So did you go to that? You went to that?
Not a mud wrestling. I'm saying you can do a variant of. Look, they have on this. You can have people squishing cashews. Let's make something like a wrestling contest in cashew. You can at least be part of that.
When it comes to food, I'm not a cook. I'm an eater. When it comes to making the Feni, No,
But
I'm not even I'm a drinker, but
look at this. See, this right there, right there.
but this looks like a lot of fun. This looks like a great time. But you've got to be into cashew, man.
Cashew
Well, no,
wrestling.
I mean, surely there was also other drinks to be had. I would have thought, because obviously not everyone drinks it. Some people like to have it just only as a medicinal remedy, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's what they've been saying for years. It's only for medicinal purposes.
Love.
The fact is
Yeah.
that cashew, and they've come up, we've got some really creative bartenders and restaurants and different establishments that have used cashew Feni for some awesome cocktails.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I've had some nice Feni cocktails, I have to say.
Sweetie, you like the taste of Feni?
I find it unusual. I mean, the thing that was most surprising for me, because I knew where it was derived from, I really thought it was going to taste of nuts. I really thought it was going to taste of cashew nuts, because I really am a big fan of eating nuts and stuff, but it tastes nothing like it.
And that's
I
what
was
turns
very
me on.
shocked.
You guys are crazy, man. You guys are Goans. I'm including
Baba,
you
it's an
here.
acquired taste, Ajoy.
No, don't speak like a Biknakar.
Okay, so you're on the right side of the bridge, and you're a big fan of it. Did you go?
I didn't go, but I do. Hello, it's not about going
Hello.
special. It's about sampling the best product from Goa, which is cashew Feni and Urrak. Guys, if you've not had it during the summers, you've got to have Urrak during the summer.
Baba, Zainamaka.
Guys, if you're watching, we're going to get Merv to drink a proper Urrak the next show. I promise you, I'm going to get you to drink this on the show.
I'll do
Both of these guys.
I'll do a live. I want to do a show. I've said this to you 100 times. I want to do a show where I'm actually drinking during the show. I want to have a couple of guests that drink with me. Joanne, we'll do it. But
Okay.
I swear to God, it'd be so much fun. I'm not a fan of cashew, but if you can mask the smell, I'm sure I can get through the taste. But you stink of it the next 2-3 days. You pee and you can smell it, dude. You burp and you can smell it.
By the way, you remember the last time you drank on this show?
Yeah.
What happened?
And I had to go and take a leak in the middle of the show, mate, and it wasn't very comfortable. I swear to God, I almost had you know what? I'll wear I'll wear a diaper. Then I won't have to jump up, will I?
Sorry,
Listen.
how old are you?
I can't say that.
I'm going to get you. You don't want to smell the Urrak when you drink it, right?
I don't like the taste of cashew. It's not the Urrak it's not as strong, is it?
It's actually not the taste. It's more to do with the aromatics that cause you to smell or what you think you're tasting. So I have a perfect antidote for that. The next time you're going to see this live, for people who don't know about cashew Feni and Urrak and they want to sample it, I'm going to give you a method the next show. I promise you.
It is a world. It's I was going to say it's a world class or well known. Cashews are known around the world.
Yeah.
But here in Goa, we are very proud of the drink we make. It is a local drink that is made. Feni is a local drink, and people that know about it or people that like it. There's different kinds, different distilleries, different kinds of brands, blah blah blah. But people that know and like the stuff, it's like nectar. So
because it's not widely distributed, I think that's also one of the things. So it's kind of limited distribution, and it's not something that's really internationally distributed either.
because we've got a lot of tourists, and here again, and they get to try it only when they come to India.
Yeah.
It's not very prevalent around the world. You've got a lot of tourists that come here, and it's something that they're completely blown away. You either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Urrak, Feni, Mad, all these different types of local drinks. Mad is, by the way, coconut Feni.
Yeah.
Listen, you can either love it or hate it.
I'm imagining that there's some people in Canada and the US that are big fans of it, and they're about to go to church and just thinking, stop talking about that, please, you're making me homesick.
And you can get it in gallons and liters over here. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
The festival looks like a lot of fun. They've got
Yeah.
images and pictures on the
Yeah.
screen right now.
Some of our friends from Uzo were also performing there on the
Did
first
they?
day. Yeah, which is another drink, but it's not from Goa, but they are.
Uzo's not a drink, is it?
Yeah,
Uzo's
Uzo.
fire.
Was it?
Uzo is fire.
No, but Uzo's a drink also. It's like an aniseed drink in Greece.
It's a Greek drink.
Yeah,
We're talking
love
about Goa love.
No, I know, but I'm just wondering whether there was alcohol at play in Kalangut when there was, apparently there was some tourists assaulted.
Yeah, I heard
by
about that.
some shack workers.
What is that all
Supposedly
about?
Some row over some sunbeds. So there was a group of tourists from Bangalore, and allegedly they were attacked or in the crossfire because there was some fighting going on in the shack over some sunbeds. So I think there was quite a lot of stuff that was like reported online.
Can I tell you, I get disappointed, I get annoyed, I get angry about these kind of things, and this is the only time and place that I can vent and have multiple people listen to what I'm saying. It's becoming more and more prevalent. I watch a lot of social media on my phone, and I'm seeing a lot more road rage. I'm seeing these fights. These people are getting hurt, and people are getting killed. I have never seen, and I don't know, it's because of the social media and the publicize how quickly it can spread like wildfire. Yeah. But this is a tourist destination, and you need to crack down with a heavy goddamn whip. There's no need for this. When locals start treating tourists badly and it gets publicized, what do you think is going to happen to the tourist industry?
Well, of course, people just become more cautious and just think, well, is Goa still the place that welcomes everybody there and makes them feel comfortable, makes them feel at home, and also is really catering for tourists? And that's a really tricky situation because, of course, so many people's livelihoods depend on the tourist industry. So, you've got to minimize these kinds of scenarios happening.
It's happening too frequently. It's happening too often. Can I just tell you this? And there's two sides to every story. Every story has three sides, side A, side B, and the truth. The fact of the matter remains, I'm just saying to you, it's becoming more and more prevalent, and it's sad because it's happening here in Goa, which is a tourist destination. Yes, I know a lot of people that are totally anti-tourism, tourists, these guys, like you mentioned earlier about Bingtas, and these people that come from outside and they behave badly, they have alcohol so cheap, and they get drunk and they behave badly and they get their asses kicked by the locals. Yes, there's two sides to every story, but that's why you have the law. Yeah. And if you report something that's wrong, if these tourists behave badly, you can actually, what's the word I'm looking for? You can actually hold them in place and call the cops, restrain them.
What,
right? You don't take sticks and umbrella pipes and all this kind of, and beat the crap out of this because everybody's being recorded and watched.
Yeah, of course. Nothing goes unnoticed.
So you're making a bad situation even worse. You guys have got to have some restraint. So whether it's a shack, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a road rage incident, whether you're a local going on the road, guys, you're representing this place, this beautiful, calm, serene. We're friendly people. We're not aggressive. We're not that kind of people. But we talk about outsiders being that way.
Merv, I wanted to ask Joanne a question. Say in London, you are in which is the most popular tourist spot in London? So
if you're in central London, if you're in Soho or somewhere like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you say you have a restaurant out there, and somebody who's not a patron, who's not paid for a service, is coming and just coming and sitting down and creating a ruckus. Yeah. Or how would an establishment deal with a tourist like that in London?
So a lot of times you'd have bouncers on the doors of especially pubs, but then you'd also have security milling around also. Okay. So you'd have somebody quite probably as discreetly as possible having a word and saying, hey, listen, this is really not the done thing. I think you need to move on because we don't accept this kind of behavior. So you'd have someone trying to pacify the situation and trying to kind of have it under control without it escalating into anything.
So, Ajay, sorry. What I'm saying to you is there's rules, there's regulations, there's authorities. There are licensed authorities that take care of this kind of stuff. You've got bouncers in pubs, Joanne, like you mentioned. Bouncers, and you've got the cops involved. In Goa, we supposedly have tourist police. When's the last time you saw a tourist police? Well, and if you've got 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 cops on a beach like Kalangut, how long do you think it's going to take him to get to a place when there's a crisis?
See, Merv, if he's had his Urrak for that day, you're not going to get him there. I'm telling you.
You're making light of a situation. I'm being dead serious, dude.
I'm actually looking at this video about this incident, and they're showing videos of these police guys on a really high-tech quad bike. I've actually never seen them on the beach on a quad bike. I've never seen them in that kind of in doing that kind of a duty. So I don't know what police they're talking about. Maybe it's some mermaids, that are going to come out of the ocean and probably pacify these tourists who are trying to to distract them, but from sitting on those benches, but definitely not the police.
We're not making light of a situation. Guys, this is a serious situation. It bothers me more and more because this is a tourist destination, and you hear so many more cases about road rage and being ripped off and fights on the beach and tourists getting beat up. It's on your screen right now, and it's everywhere, and everybody and their uncle's got a goddamn cell phone that can record, right? So you've got to have restraint. You've got to have control. Mate, it's called discipline. You're a human. You're not an animal. And if you break the rules, you break the law, you get put away, you pay the price.
Yeah.
You get locked up. And if you actually cracked down on this and put these guys away, like I think, and kudos to the authorities, because I think they actually did put these guys, some of these people got locked up.
But no, the shack owners or somebody from the shack got locked up. But I think the responsibility lies with both parties.
Yes,
right?
of course.
It
Of course,
lies
Ajoy.
with the establishment not to resort to violence. That is one. But also it lies on the tourist to behave properly.
Ajoy, you can't make everybody follow the rules, and alcohol does crazy, stupid things to people, right?
Yeah.
Because they come here from all over the country and all over the world, and alcohol is so cheap.
But also there's a thing when some people can start to get a little bit belligerent, or they're trying to reinforce the rules or enforce the rules a little bit more stringently than they need to. Because I think earlier on in the season we'd heard of a tourist that was trying to use the bathroom, the toilet in some shack, and
It got out of hand.
It got out of hand, so there's a lot of these things that can actually happen. But we were down in Palalim during the week, and there was a Lifeguards vehicle patrolling.
That is cool, by the way.
It was an electric vehicle. It was looking like a little bit of a Tonka toy, in fact. It was an ugly looking thing, but it was patrolling up and down the beach, all day.
Can I just say that the fact is that I was so proud. We went to Palalim for a couple of days, and there was an electric lifeguard vehicle, life support. It said life, whatever, saving, whatever thing on the, and it was electric vehicle. Literally looked like a Tonka toy.
Yeah.
A little square boxy little thing that kept going up and down the beach, and you've got lifeguards. But on a beach that size, that's proper, that's proportionate, because you've got lifeguards stationed every 100 meters.
Yeah.
I'm saying in Kalangut and Baga and Kandolim, you've got these long stretches of beach, and there's no way in hell anybody's going to get there quickly, right?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter remains, people have to have restraint. The establishment owner and his staff and the tourists. But if one breaks the rule, doesn't mean that everybody gangs up and beats the crap. It's that mob mentality that I can't stand.
Are you talking about this?
Yeah, that's
if you
so
look at
cool.
If you look at it from the side, it's like a really squat, squishy kind of shape.
Shout out
it
to
looks
these-
like it's a kit car, but it was obviously very effective moving up and down the beach. And you obviously need to cover quite a bit of ground.
Okay,
so
I'm
you
just
need,
saying,
you need a lot more people being able to sort of maneuver along the beach as quickly as possible.
I'm just saying that you've got these rules and regulations, you've got these authorities, you've got these facilities, but people also have to have constraint. They have to have a little bit of control.
Yeah.
You're trying to take care of tourists. You're trying to get more people to come to this place and spend their money, take care of them.
Yeah.
There was a cable that snapped. There was something that happened in Baga the other day that was caught on camera.
Parasailing. So there was somebody parasailing.
And the cable
off
snapped?
The coast, of course, yeah.
No.
It was caught on camera.
Everybody's got a camera, Joanne.
Yeah, I know.
And you've got to have rules and laws and life-saving facilities that are monitored closely, and people have to get them checked and
Absolutely, but you've got to have drills for these kind of things. So it'll be interesting to know, how the emergency service.
It's on the screen.
react to these kind of things also.
Yeah.
So what happened? The cable snapped.
So
Cable
yeah,
snapped. More than of course you have to have drills, but you have to have regulation to have checks on the type of equipment that they're using. Is it being changed? Because, for example, these cables, they get worn out, right, over time.
Yes, absolutely.
So which authority is checking to see that they're changing cables? Because in India, given an opportunity, they'll try and cost cut even their mom, right? So we have to have a regulation that checks and ensures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
Mervyn, this person dropped 20, 30 feet out of the air.
That's not. Listen. I'm not having a laugh about that. I'm just
No, I
laughing
know.
about
I'm just saying, it's very
you're lucky
dangerous.
they didn't get hurt, injured, or even something worse. The fact of the matter remains, Ajo, we've got all the rules and regulation and laws in the world. What's missing?
But apparently the
What's
Goa
missing?
police,
What's
it's enforcement.
There you go.
But the Goa police are apparently investigating that about the maintenance of the equipment.
You think it's a Goa police that should be tasked with this? You don't think they've got their hands
it should
full?
be health and safety executive.
They need to have.
When is the report coming out? In 2060?
It's scary because these things are happening, and that's what they are. They're accidents. They're not the norm. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter who you are and where you're from, we welcome you. We love to have you here in Goa. That's not what we're about.
Yeah.
And these kind of things will happen. The good part about it, that person that fell out of the sky because the rope snapped had their life vest on.
Yeah.
But they could have been a lot.
But there have been fatal accidents also.
Merv, you just have to go to a tourist destinations like Thailand. Okay.
Why?
I'll never forget.
No touching.
Forget that no touching and all that poaching and all of
Then
that.
what do you want to do? Why do you want to go to
Hey,
Thailand?
hello. Merv, that's not why I go to Thailand. I'm a saint, my friend. Sant. Okay, listen. But you know what? We had gone on this 3-island tour, and it includes everything.
Okay. Everything.
When
What's the everything, mate? Can you pay extra?
everything water sports.
Okay.
Let me highlight that. Okay. Everything, and definitely just water sports, guys. All right. But you know, I'll never forget. First of all, when we got on that boat, it was huge. You know, every person had to don a life vest to ensure that you had one life vest per person. That is one. If without which the authority would not allow you to start moving. Then all these operators come together and they work together to service the tourists in terms of parasailing or even on these water skis. So they in the beginning of every morning, I think it was which beach, I can't remember. They have these what do you call islands? These floatable islands that they create, and all these ships or boats come with the tourists, and they put them in line, and it's like a well-oiled machine. You know, within a matter of an hour, maybe 100 tourists have given their rides. It's like clockwork, and you know that safety has been taken care of.
Ajoy, you're preaching to the choir.
And this is Thailand, my dear friend.
Baba, you're preaching to the choir. I'm on the same page as you.
Why can't this happen here in Goa, man?
Why do I have a hairbrush in my goddamn closet? It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make any sense, right?
Clearly,
you've got all the rules and regulations, but they need to be implemented. In Thailand, they have rules and regulations that are implemented and enforced. Here, you should have the marine police that actually come and check and make sure random checks on boats and all. You've got to have a license that's checked. It's only a 3 or 4 month tourist cycle, right? You've got to have a license that's renewed every year, like your weights and measures, like your fire safety, like your whatever the license is, the different departments for different industries, correct? The marine police should be checking boats to make sure they have proper life vests. The ropes that they're using for the parasailing boats are in good shape. They're properly maintained. The machines, it just needs to be enforced. It's the enforcement of these rules and laws. And Thailand, Malaysia, all these Southeast Asian countries are better than at enforcing, and they're strict about it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Why do you have to wait for the police? Why can't the industry people, the businesses self-regulate? Because you know that you're going to be portraying...
You're really asking that question?
They should.
Self-regulate?
Self-regulate by making sure that, the proper standards are followed, that your customer is given a good value for what they're spending, and that no safety issues could occur like this.
Can't do it. Yeah, so it's like everybody. Ajoy, are you kidding me? You want to self-regulate safety standards? You want to self-regulate people that can't even. We're going to get to some of these topics, by the way. We're going to get to some of these topics that are going to blow your mind.
I think self-regulation is a tricky area because you have to be able to trust that the people involved, all parties involved, actually, have the will to be able to ensure they maintain the highest of standards.
Sweetie, all it takes is one.
You don't have to have the authority step in, but if it's for your own livelihood and it's for your sustainable business, then you'd expect people to want to maintain those highest possible standards, of course.
What's the system called when you take something and you put money and there's nobody there to watch? It's called it's self. What's it called? What's the word I'm looking for?
Oh yeah. When you basically go by and you pick up a bag of fruit and you have to pay.
You pay it automatically. You've got a basket.
It's an honesty system.
Yeah, like an honor system, right?
Yeah.
I wish that could be that easy here in Goa, where you have the honor system, where you self-regulate like Ajoy wants to do. When it comes to somebody's life, there's no way in hell you're going to be self-regulating, dude.
But that's what I saw in Thailand. I think those guys...
It's not self-regulation, Baba. They're still authorities, but they're damn good at taking care of their tourists.
But I can tell you that without the help of the, the players involved in that business, Like, you can have all the regulation you want. If they don't want to do better by their tourists and by the people that give them money for the business, you're just, it's a gone case. It's not going to go anywhere.
You think it's a no-brainer. You'd want these people to self-regulate. When it comes to garbage and littering and keeping a place clean, of course they do. In Southeast Asia, I've lived in Malaysia, and we did that all the time.
And also they've got the death penalty for drug trafficking in Thailand.
Of course. But people, there's civic sense. But people also, when you talk about self-regulation, you can't have it when lives are involved, because it takes one stupid or a couple of silly mistakes, or people that are not going to take it seriously, and you lose a life, and it just costs too much. Self-regulation when it comes to maybe littering and garbage and all these kind of stuff. You've got tourists that come to a place. You need to take care of them, welcome them, and make sure they're safe.
Can I just say, though, it's all about having a long-term viewpoint as well, because if it's just a one and done, and then I move on to the next tourist that comes along, unfortunately, I think the reason why Goa seems to be losing tourists is because the attitude has actually changed, and because people have seen so many changes, they're not willing to come here for the full season like they used to. They're maybe coming less and less frequently. So then there's different types of tourists that are coming. So if you've got someone that's just coming as a one-off, or they're only coming for alcohol, or they think that drugs are easily accessible, or some other reason, then you're not going to have that long-term viewpoint, and you're not going to be able to sustainably maintain your business.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go.
You really think that our Goa government or the Indian government make it easy for tourists to come to India?
No, I don't.
So why? There's so many different levels to this. There's so many different. What's this to an onion? What is it to an onion?
Layers.
There's so many layers to this. There's so many different things that are at play when you talk about tourists to not only India but to Goa. Mm-hmm. And if you don't take care of and you welcome them, and these guys do it in spades all around the world. Think of some of the biggest tourist destinations around the world and how well they take care of people, and why people.
That barrier to entry also.
Joanne, just getting a visa to come to India, 180-day stays, and all this, the rules and regulations. Yes, you need to protect the place. But when you make it this difficult to come to a place, well, screw you. Why should I come to India? Why should I come to Goa?
Well, people are going to Sri Lanka and Thailand. They're switching places. So,
there you go.
I mean, some people I know that I've spoken to, who even our customers, that are saying, I'm giving it this one last season, and if it just doesn't live up to my expectations, or there's just too many changes, or I'm not as happy and comfortable as I once was, then it's
becoming a shithole, dude. It's becoming like any big city. It's becoming like any over-commercialized tourist destination. And like my friend Walter Lobo said, you've not only killed the goose that laid the golden egg, you've cooked the goose. You know what I'm saying? If you ever want to be on a world stage, and we've got a diamond in the rough here, people have known Goa, hippies, tourists from the 60s that have come here that love the solitude, the welcoming people, the food, the cuisine, the natural beauty, the history. There's so much to Goa that we have to offer. But if you don't put it out there on the world stage in a proper light, and the people that are actually coming here don't have a good time, you really think they're going to come back? You've got Indian tourists that come here now. By the way, did you hear about those girls, those poor girls that took a selfie?
So sad in Andhra Pradesh.
In AP.
But
did you see that?
But the thing is, I've seen this. I mean, it was maybe 6-7 years ago that I saw that, like, India was like the selfie capital of the world, but people that were dying whilst taking risks, taking selfies, it is like the capital of the world, and it's just so shocking and so sad.
It's population related. I think it's because you've got the largest population. Everybody's got a phone.
Possibly.
Everybody wants to take a selfie. The sad matter, we're talking about Goa as a destination, and people come here from all around the world, but it's the local Indian tourists that don't realize how dangerous the ocean is. Mm-hmm. You've had these girls in Andhra Pradesh who were taking a selfie, and they got dragged out by a tide or a current and drowned.
They were at a waterfall, and there was 5 girls, I believe, in total, but unfortunately these 3 girls died. There was 2 of them aged 16 and 1 was 17. It's really horrific thing.
It's sad. Yeah, Baba.
One thing that's lacking in India is people don't know how to swim.
Yes, exactly.
Even the most basic swimming technique, which I recommend that you learn how to paddle shift, as they say in
Doggy paddle.
Doggy paddle, and
Yeah.
that's the best one you can learn to stay afloat.
Even
And-
on your back.
Yes, or the basic swimming lessons are required, is a must. And I fail to understand when people don't know how to swim. Why do they even go near the water? It's a recipe for disaster.
Mate, how many times have you seen tourists from all over India come to Goa and they see the ocean for the first time and they want to run in? And you've got a rip tide, you've got a strong tide, and you're screwed, right? And that's where the job of the lifeguards.
Yeah, but there's also been accidents because there weren't enough life vests on some of these boats years gone by. And then, the boat got into difficulty. And then the Indian tourists that are actually on those boats actually died because they didn't have life vests as well.
Yeah, but you can't enforce. You can't ask everybody, even if you're a good swimmer, sometimes, even with a vest, you're going to drown. These poor girls were taking a selfie.
They were on a rock in the middle of the river and they slipped, unfortunately.
Sad.
And that's what's happened.
And you
So
got
sad.
to even on the beach, because we are in Goa. People don't understand how dangerous a riptide can be.
Yeah.
So even if you're in shallow water and you lose your footing, you can be dragged out into
Yeah.
the sea before you know it. And if you don't know how to swim, you're in trouble. So get swimming lessons, guys.
Joy,
Basic ones.
You would think that, but people get so excited when they come to go and they see the ocean, they just want to jump right in because it looks so inviting and you're so excited. But you're absolutely right. That can take you. Ankle deep water can drown you. No.
Absolutely. And I know of cases. I remember in school, some of my classmates passed away, sadly, because of that. So
How do you enforce it, dude? You just need more lifeguards.
I think you need to have people on the beach, the lifeguards for one. Big banner saying that if you don't know how to swim, please don't go near the water, right? Or have
Easier said. So what is it? What did he start off with earlier? It's called self-regulate. Self-regulate.
Yeah.
It's so inviting to come to go and see the ocean, mate. You're absolutely right. You can have all the signboards along the beach saying tides and danger and don't jump into the water, and you're still going to have some silly person that just goes in and sadly loses their life, like these poor girls.
One thing you could do is promote probably some free life vests so people can wear them and then go into the ocean.
Great suggestion. And have it sponsored, have the vest sponsored by some company or restaurant or the Goa tourism industry, and then give them away and let the people use them or take a deposit. They do this around the world. It's not rocket science, but it would save a lot more lives.
Absolutely.
Well, around the world, people don't take it home.
Yeah. Like
Take a deposit.
Like in the next story, by the way.
What's the next story?
Yeah, something about Civic Sense.
Yeah, this is about a travel blogger who is essentially saying that there needs to be more basic hygiene on commercial flights. So she's not just limiting it to one group of people, but she has actually mentioned that she's seen a higher proportion of litter and things like that left behind when it's been a flight that has been a lot more Indians on the same flight.
I'm embarrassed. I always get embarrassed. Our Indians, and I can say this, our Indians that are born and raised in India, and they go around and travel around the world and exposed to Western culture and norms and how people, they're a little bit shocked because here you wouldn't think twice about opening a packet of gutka, putting it in your mouth and throwing it out, or a packet of chips, or just littering in general because you don't have the facilities and people don't know more about it. When you do go to the West and the Middle East and Southeast Asia, people are a lot more conscious about how they take care of the environment.
Yeah.
On an airplane, I've been on airplanes where I'm so embarrassed to be Indian, where you have these guys just trash the place. You walk into a flipping toilet and you've got and it's embarrassing because you've got other people that are not Indian on the airplane. Mm-hmm. What are they thinking?
Well, she mentioned that she's seen an air stewardess having to wipe up urine from the floor where, they've gone into the bathroom and it was just so full of urine, and with her bare hands, the stewardess was actually having to clean it with tissue paper and stuff like that. So, I mean, I understand, she's a travel blogger, so she's called Sandhya Maji. And she's obviously does a lot of traveling, and she's just trying to capture people's attention as well. So for me personally, I've always found it just I'm always very aware that I never want to leave anything behind, any of my personal belongings. And even having in-flight food and stuff like that, I like to repackage it and put it back on the tray all nicely and neatly.
As you should.
And, because that's for me, I know I'm not leaving a mess behind me. And I'm also making sure that I'm not mixing up rubbish with my own personal belongings and stuff like that. And, for me personally, it's a matter of pride.
Joanne, I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question. You were taught this as a kid.
Yeah.
Who's teaching our kids to do this?
Well, this is what this girl is also bringing that up. Don't parents take responsibility?
Education. No, parents don't. You don't need a license to have a baby.
No.
That's the scary part. You've got people that don't deserve to have children, are having children, and sadly they don't know how to teach their children, and our schools aren't teaching a kid from a young age to put litter in its place, take care of the environment, take care of your planet. This is your home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the way you behave here isn't the way you can behave on an airplane or in somebody else's country, because they'll fine you, mate.
But I've even seen videos of kids jumping up and down, irritating, like toddlers.
That happens all over the world.
Jumping up and down.
That happens all over the world.
No, I'm not saying it's anybody in particular. I'm just saying
I'm talking about littering and filth. Yeah, go on.
Merv, I got a question for you guys, right? I've been to Cambodia, for example. In Cambodia, you can't tell me that Cambodia is a richer country than India. It's definitely poorer than India, right? But it was so much cleaner than India. So my question is, if it's a matter of education, the Cambodians are not as educated as Indians. Let's be honest.
It has nothing to do. No, but you know what? You got me, Ajay.
No, I want to ask the question, Merv. I want to ask, then what does Cambodians have that Indians don't have in their culture that allows them to understand the concept of, keeping your environment clean, keeping your country clean? Why don't we have this sensibility in our culture?
It's called civic pride. It's called knowledge. And I hate to see it because it can work both ways. The lack of knowledge makes you litter and throw and not take care of your environment and the globe. The what is it called? You know what I'm talking about, where you litter and the surrounding areas and taking care of the environment, right? Yeah. But it's sad because I know so many educated Indian people that go overseas, and they're completely different when they go overseas. But on an airplane, for example, I'd be embarrassed to throw anything on the ground, and if something fell on the ground, I'd pick it up. Yeah. And you're talking about Cambodia. Cambodia is dirt poor. And here again, they've just got civic pride. They've got national pride. You've heard of Japanese culture?
Yeah.
Kids clean their own schools and stuff. And again, guys, I'm not bagging on Indians in general. It's not everybody. There's a lot of our Indians that are very, very, very proud of where we live and take care of the place and don't behave this way. Sadly, it's a lot of the Indians that don't behave this way that makes us cringe. It is not a nice thing. It's not a comfortable thing. And you just want to, you can't, listen, it's like the people you see out there in Goa. They come here in tourist buses and vehicles with out-of-state plates, and they'll chuck a plastic bottle out the window. Yeah. You can't stop every car and every bus, mate.
It's shameful. As an Indian, I don't mind saying it's shameful. And I would love to tell other people, hey, come to India, we'll show you how to be clean. But
come
I can't.
To Goa.
No, it is bad behavior, and I hate to see it. And I've told you before, I see people outside the building here, and I'll chase them to throw garbage away into the rubbish bins at the side and all of that. But even Japan, I just want to tell you this, I might have mentioned it before, but in 1998, I went to the World Cup in France. Japan, Jamaica were playing together in the World Cup. And at the beginning of the match, the Japanese fans threw up a whole load of confetti just in celebration at the start of the match. And then at the very end of the match, even when all of the players had left the field, all of the Japanese fans were actually picking up each and every single piece of confetti from the stands. They put it in rubbish bags and threw it away.
Nowhere else in the world.
And this was in France. They did it when they were on travel.
Nowhere else in the world. These guys are extreme. These guys take it to another level. But this is exactly what's taught to them as children.
Yeah, and so
respect for yourself, respect for others. You don't beat up tourists at the shack. You take care of your environment. This is taught from a young age. Who is our Minister of Education, by the way? We need to be talking to that guy. How educated is he? You know what I'm saying? Why is this not just in India, but in Goa, in schools locally? Why aren't we taught civic pride and how to take care of your environment, take care of yourself, and take care of one another?
But I'm sure there's a lot of people doing that, but it just flies under the radar. But we need to celebrate more good examples of that as well. So we should be seeking these things out each and every day for
I agree.
people to interview people and showcase some great examples.
Go on.
Merv, but think about how much of an advertisement those Japanese people were in France for their country.
Yeah,
You're a representative, mate.
phenomenal.
I would travel to Japan just seeing your citizen trying to keep things clean in my country. Mm-hmm. It's the best advertisement possible of your country.
But you even know that, even like in Singapore and places like that, chewing gum is banned. So even having
That's extreme, though.
Yeah, but still, you don't see those little blocks of chewing gum just ingrained into the pavements
Absolutely
and stuff
right.
like that. And it
They're
makes
very
a
strict
difference.
about it, by the way.
You
the
don't
difference.
need a law to tell you not to litter.
You shouldn't need.
You don't need a law to tell you to take care of your environment. You don't need laws to tell you how to behave in hygiene and smell and taking care of one another or behaving as a human, yeah? We need to teach this to our kids from a very young age. We were taught this in school, by the way, in the States.
Yeah.
Not life science. I can't remember what it was. It was something. There was a class that
Like
taught you.
home economics.
No, home ec was cooking and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But I'm just saying to you, if you don't start somewhere, your Ministry of Education needs to take this seriously. Look at the Japanese. Don't reinvent the wheel. Do what's being done out there and what's more prevalent and what's good, rather than take away all the bad habits with social media and what you see and you want to emulate and replicate. Do the good stuff. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Be proud of where you live and your own. I want to brag about Goa. Come to Goa. Check out how clean we are.
Absolutely. But I tell you one thing I've observed, and it's a case of don't sweep it under the rug. I've seen this many times where you see people sweeping outside their houses.
Sweep into the neighbor's yard.
And they sweep it across to the next person. So you're not actually dealing with it there and then. And so it's not, don't kick the can down the road. Let's really deal with it.
Yeah, but that's one part of culture
I know,
that
but still.
I'm just saying in general, overall, on a larger scale, I'd love to have educators and it's teachers and it's the Ministry of Education locally in Goa, in India, overall, to be able to implement these classes where civic sense, take care of yourselves, all of these things need to be farmed to kids like sport. I'm not going to get into it, dude. I don't. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Merv Brito Show. By the way, I meant to say this earlier. We talked about social media, but the opinions expressed on the show are the opinions of the people expressing them and not the opinions of the Merv Brito Show in general. Yeah. We talk about a lot of contentious things, and it's not to rabble-rouse, but it's more to make people aware of what's going on in this place we call home and that we're so proud of and we love so much.
Yeah.
Let's get into something. Can we talk about something a little bit less heavy, something a little light and more fun?
Okay, well, we were going to talk about the digital census. So the census 2027 is actually underway.
Okay.
And for the next few days, you're able to actually upload your details online. So I believe it's running until the 15th of April online. You can actually upload your details. And then after that, you've actually got to have someone come around and verify the data as well. So
I love this.
Leading up to 2027. So this is the first time it can be done online also. And Konkani is one of the languages that you can respond in.
I love this.
Yeah.
And this is something to be proud of. I mean, this is not something new. It's something new here in Goa, maybe in India, but it's been done around the world. And I love this, bringing us into the 21st century,
Yeah.
right? So even with elections, I've talked about this so many times, even with elections, to verify ID, and it can be digital.
Yeah.
It can be blockchain technology where you cannot manipulate, you cannot modify, you can't cheat, rather than a physical ID or whatever. Well, it can be both. The point I'm trying to make is to get an actual ID of population or census or somebody, you can register through your phone. Just like banking apps are so secure because they have to be. God damn, Willie, you need to stop smoking, mate. Can I get you something to drink? All I'm saying to you is this is a great thing, but how do more people find out about this? You're mentioning this can be done till a certain date?
Yeah, so the round one, it can be done up until the 15th of April online. And I think there's about 5,000 people who've actually, supervisors and enumerators, who can actually then come to people's homes and verify them. So the majority of the people in Goa who've been trained to do this are actually teachers, so that they can come and verify the data. So apparently it's also dependent on an internet connection. So if,
there you go. Hit.
Shoehorn. No, but if you're in a place where you're going to verify the data, you can actually upload that data offline and then upload it back online when you get to
It doesn't make a difference.
that kind of thing.
The fact of the matter remains, I'm going to ask all of you guys, has anybody heard of this before?
No.
I've never heard this.
Only it was in the run up to Easter. It was I think it was a week ago Wednesday.
I don't know.
It was actually launched.
I don't know who launched this or whose government, but this is great. This is very good, positive progress. But this is great, and this is a step in the right direction.
What is Murph? Sorry.
Being able to, are you with us, Yusuf? Are you with us?
I'm
Sorry, Ajay.
fasting.
I'm just saying to be able to register in a census, for example, population census or whatever the case may be, and I'm taking it to the extreme where you can do it for voting or register. You've got so many banking apps that are bulletproof, mate. You can't mess them up, right? To be able to do a census or to be able to vote or to be able to do a lot of things and keep it legal, keep it by the rules and by the law, you've got to register. Just like your Aadhaar and your PAN and all the things that people, they try to track people, right? In the US, you're given a social security number.
Yeah.
Over here, you should be able to register with a phone. So every person has digital exposure and can only do it once. That can be used across the board for everything.
Yeah, but it's also got to be verified. So essentially this, like a census, is actually just capturing the data from individual households. So it's just understanding what's the makeup of the people in the household, how many people are living there, who's of school age, who's working, and all of that kind of stuff.
It's a regular census, huh?
Understanding.
In a digital format.
Yeah, but these things are not easy. And so, even though if you are doing it online, it has to be verified. So you've still got to have people that are going to come and check this data out.
That's a tough act. That's a tough job because you can have people, you can have the smartest phones. It doesn't make you a smart person. All the smartphones in the world don't make anybody. Listen, you've got to register and you've got to do it right. And there's no way to verify that digitally. You can do as much as you can with digital verification, like a bank would do. But you're still going back to an old trait, an old bad habit where you have a human come and verify that.
Yeah, but then there's
How do banks do it?
Well,
KYC?
But you ask that, but you find that a lot of these things are not as efficient as they should be.
It's a one-time thing.
But you still get people having to maybe come to your business to verify you, like take photographs, give photographs, physical photographs,
I disagree.
Things like that. Well, these enumerators, they actually have to go and visit a lot of these households. And so then there's been questions asked around the safety for these people having to go and visit each and every household.
It's not even the safety. There's so many variables and so many variants and things that can happen that can screw this up. Yeah. And you've got to figure out a good way and implement it. I love the fact that you're moving in the right direction.
I've got an idea. Okay. You do a proper census and then moving forward, count the births and deaths that happened since then, and you'll get your actual figure, right?
How do you know who's died and who's born?
You don't have a system of birth certification and death certification.
It has to be digitized, mate.
Yeah, so do that. Instead of going through this entire process of going from door to door.
Hello, ding dong. At the end of the day, just like you have to present ID to make a deposit or a withdrawal at the bank, just like you have to provide multiple IDs to get an Aadhaar card. Why not have a digital verified account? Like, for example, on your smartphone, right? So it cannot be manipulated. It cannot be, you cannot trick the system, right? But it's a one-time thing that has to be verified, and you need to use that for every transaction or whatever. They're doing it in China. They're doing it in Singapore. They're doing it all over the world. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just do it.
But the Aadhaar card is supposed to be something that actually is digitally tracking people, and also
digital.
No, but it's actually not. It's like an ID card. An Aadhaar card is like an ID card, and
it's an ID. It's not a digital ID.
No, it's not. But you've got your number, and you've verified, and it's got to be linked to your mobile phone and things like that. So India did this quite a long time ago. However, it's like taking it to the next step and the next level potentially is what's needed.
Digital, blockchain technology. Bring us into the next generation. Why is an Aadhaar card not the only form of verification to vote? It can't be, right? Because it can be screwed. It can be manipulated.
But you need a voter's card, though.
The point I'm trying. You don't need a voter's card. You don't need an Aadhaar card. You should have a digital voter ID or a digital Aadhaar or digital something that cannot be manipulated, like they're doing around the world. Bring us into the next century to minimize fraud and to be able to make sure that people are doing the right thing, paying your taxes. Guys, we're not dumb. We've got the knowledge. We've got the we've got so much here locally in India that we could do to bring us into the next century.
By the way, we got a comment for our previous topic. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
First of all, what topic are we talking about?
We were talking about cleanliness in India, right?
Okay.
And responsibility to keep India clean. So Sanviv 1 has sent, I learned this, which I presume is the act of cleaning and keeping things clean. In my convent school, our nuns disciplined us, and that is what we learnt very strictly in our convent schools. She goes on to say, those who make India proud with all these manners and ethics are all those educated in our convent schools.
I salute that. I love that. I don't know who Sanviv is as a girl, and probably a girl who went to a convent school, unless it's a very lucky boy, mate. They wouldn't take me in a convent. The fact of the matter remains, you know what? You should be very proud. And that's exactly why education. Sanviv, thank you for the comment. The fact of the matter remains that education is so important. It's not just convent schools or Catholic schools or any, it should be in all schools.
Yeah. Yes.
You're a diplomat. You're a representative of your environment, your country, your parents, your culture, you're representing so many different things when you're out in public and the way you behave, not just in school, not just when you're in the supermarket or the mall, but when you're in somebody else's country.
Social responsibility.
There you go.
I think we should promote that school. So Sanviv, do give us the name of the school, because
It's a convent school.
Okay. I don't go and stalk anybody, but I just want the name of the school.
Don't tell Ajoy. Don't tell Ajoy the name of your school, mate.
Trust me, Merv is the dangerous guy in this conversation.
It's a great thing because I know and I went to a very good school. I went to St. Mary's, and I'm very proud of that. St. Mary's Mount Abu, and I went to St. Mary's in Baikala in Bombay with the blue ties, and we were taught how to behave. My parents were so strict about your reputation and representing the family, your family motto and honor and I am so worried about doing anything wrong because I don't want to embarrass my family.
It's personal pride as well as...
Of course, and we were taught this. So, Sanviv, yes, thank you for the comment, by the way. You should be, and parents should be very, very strict about how they... But that takes education too, no? How they bring up their little ones, the young ones, the next generation. Okay.
Do you know what? Can I just also say, it's just also a simple act of saying thank you. Because the thing is, I do find, I've seen this a lot, I've observed this a lot, that when people are being generous to somebody, I've seen it happen multiple times elsewhere in India as well as in Goa, is when you're doing something nice for somebody, the word thank you is not always uttered. And I get very surprised by that. Even just a nice smile, which is indicating thank you. I don't know whether people just become embarrassed by someone doing something nice or something like that. But I just think my mum, my family always said, and the word is thank you.
Oh, yeah, we get smacked for it, dude.
Absolutely.
Please and thank you. You couldn't do a darn thing out in any, even at home.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. And that's the part of the upbringing that I thank God for my parents.
Yeah.
My family, they were but you know what? There's a lot of people that don't have that.
Yeah.
And Goan culture, Indian culture, we're warm, we're welcoming, we're helpful, we're all these kind of things. But I'm saying these basic character traits that speaks volume about you and your upbringing, your parents, your family, that you take out into the world and represent.
I mean, even this is a silly example, but we used to always ask our parents, can we leave the table? So, we'd say, please, may I leave the table? And then you'd have some sarcastic people that may be around you might be saying something like, well, you can't take it with you, can you? Kind of thing, instead of acknowledging, yes, you've got good manners. Yeah. But it's good manners. It doesn't take much to have good manners. It costs nothing, no?
Okay, you came from very good background, love.
I'm not saying that.
You don't be trying to brag, can I leave the table?
For flip's sake, I'm not trying to reiterate a point. I'm just saying, if someone does something nice, then even if you're not saying the word thank you,
why don't you think? I'll tell you what. Thank your teachers, thank your administrators, but thank your parents, thank your mother, Carol Lamplow. Thank you for your daughter and what you did for your daughter. And the sandwiches she makes are amazing. She's not always very kind or very nice. I'm just kidding. You need to thank your parents. You need to thank your teachers. These are the people that teach you from a very young age to be kind, to be polite, to take care of your environment, take care of one another.
Yes.
And that's what sets you up for the rest of your lives. Okay,
Yeah.
what else are we going to talk about, guys?
Well, we're going to talk about one of your favourite politicians who seems
my
like he's
politician?
being sidelined at the moment.
Who is one of my favorites?
unfortunately.
Tell me.
I'll let Ajoy tell you.
Ajay, who's one of my favorite politicians?
Remember the guy that you really liked in the he was having discussions in the parliament in the Rajya Sabha.
Oh, the young guy.
The young guy.
Oh, we want to talk about this guy. His name is Raghav, right?
Raghav what?
What? I don't know his name, dude. I remember Raghav.
Raghav Chadha.
And you know what? We need to talk about not only Raghav, I want to talk about Nepal. Willie talked about Nepal. Let's talk about Raghav. What, is he doing something great again?
Yeah,
he's been
unfortunately,
sidelined,
He's
it
been
seems
sidelined
like.
by his party,
Give them one
the
credit
Aam
to
Aadmi
me.
Party, because according to the Aam Aadmi Party, they think that he is not voicing more serious topics regarding the state of Punjab from where he's elected as an MP, or challenging the central government, and that's one of the reasons why they've pulled the rug from underneath him, and he is no longer able to speak in the Rajya Sabha.
So he's part of our-
Is he currently the deputy leader, and they've proposed somebody else as the new deputy leader?
Yes, so he's the deputy.
Is this the dude on the screen?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
Raghav Chadha, and he was the deputy leader of the opposition. So, according to what the Aam Aadmi Party says, is that he never signed or never joined in protests pertaining to key points where all the opposition parties said that they will do this together. He was not a party to it. Now, I don't know. That's what the Aam Aadmi Party says. But according to Raghav Chadha, he has brought up a lot of topics. Some of the topics that you really liked about blockchain and digitizing things. But according to the Aam Aadmi Party, these things are important. But the more impressing things are about securing institutions, talking about the issues of farmers in Punjab, etc., which I am not sure whether he spoke about it or not.
I like the fact that he's a young guy. And Wilbert spoke about. Wilbert spoke about the situation in Nepal and Gen Z. This guy is a smart young politician. Politics is a dirty word here in India. The fact of the matter remains, this guy is a knowledgeable young guy, up and coming politician, and he's doing great things. But we don't know the insights. It's very difficult to talk about politics and a party and somebody's opinions without having or hearing them from that person themselves. What he did say, which we did hear, and that I was very impressed with as a young guy, he spoke about so many things that are progressive, next generation, technologically inclined, like good things that'll change this country.
Forward looking, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. So he was not allowed to speak at the Rajya Sabha. Why?
Because, like, for example, he's not taking up farmers' issues in pertaining to Punjab. That's where he's been elected for. He was sent to Punjab.
You're never gonna make everybody happy, dude.
Mate, if you're elected from Punjab, you better say something about Punjab. Then otherwise,
Of course,
there's something wrong there. Then if you.
But
don't speak-
Ajoy, there's 7 of them. There's only 10 of them that have been elected, and 7 of them are from Punjab, and 3 of them are representing the Delhi area also. So
It doesn't make a difference. The
even
fact
if
that-
he's not bringing it forward, surely one of the
No.
other 7 would be also.
No, but the thing is, there's a system of raising issues in the Rajya Sabha, or even in the Lok Sabha. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know this for sure, but I think only a few people, like the leader of opposition or the deputy leader of opposition, can speak. So that's why even in the Lok Sabha, you have one person bringing up the issues of all the opposition parties that they rally behind him, and he's the voice that you get to see on TV. So I guess in this case, Raghav Chadha is one of those people, and he's according to what Aam Aadmi Party alleges.
Yeah.
He's a young buck, dude. He's a young buck, and he's. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm sorry. I need to be more respectful. But Raghav Chadha is a young politician. He's down with LPP. You know what I'm saying?
But Merv,
You know what LPP?
No.
Other people's politics, mate. You know what? I love the fact.
What's the word? Tyriak.
Terry, you want me to get into it? I'll get into Dariac.
I don't.
I love the fact that this guy speaks his mind and he's somebody's forward thinker as a young person, right? He talked about blockchain, he talked about technology and how we can implement more things using technology and change this country like these guys are doing in Nepal, dude. Willie, what?
By the way, before we talk about Nepal, Raghav Chadha apparently wants to float a new party because of the situation he's in.
I'd vote for him.
So
what's the new party called?
he doesn't know. We don't
He has
know.
to move to
OPP.
Goa. He has to move to Goa. You can't even vote. You're a taxpayer, but you can't even vote right now. That was one of the
not fair.
points I was going to make. But the point is, what I was going to say is a lot of these parties in governments, most governments around the world, they're very strategic. So, if you know that the opposition, or the ruling party are going to be talking about a topic, then you've actually got a strategy in place. So you've got somebody who is a subject expert who will then start talking regarding that subject. They'll actually be talking counterpoints and all of that. And that's what most governments and most opposition parties around the world
We're
will
not talking
do.
about most governments and most countries and most politics.
These people will also have some
Don't.
strategies in place.
Don't get me started with Indian politics, with the legislative system, the judicial system, the legislative system. It makes me sad. There's a whole another can of worms. And I would start drinking cashew if I had to talk more about this. I don't want to talk about this. I want to drink some old monk. I want to talk about the Nepalese.
Please don't destroy the image of Cashew Feni by equating it with the corruption of this country.
No. Talk about this. Wilbert.
Cashew Feni is to be enjoyed slowly on a hot summer's day with some lime, some limca, some salt, and a chili in there.
So is it like a tequila slammer? Is it? You like tequila slammer?
It's the best drink for the Goan summers. Trust me.
Urrak.
Next week, guys, I'm going to pour these guys some Urrak, and we're going to get them to drink. I promise you this without fail.
Don't let me get my hands on the chili, because you know where I'm going to do the chili, man.
It's a make or break for the show, because if you're a Goan show and you don't know how to drink Urrak, I don't know what to say.
Why don't you make a few cocktails for us also?
Can we get back to the show, ladies? No, that's a good idea. We need to do a show where we're drinking on the show, mate. I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm not trying to abuse it, but it'll be fun because everybody loosens up. I can barely speak sober.
Next week. Mike.
Okay. I want to talk about what's happening in Nepal. Wilbert, before the show, we were having a quick conversation about the Gen Z.
Yeah.
And they've done a lot of demonstrating, and there were a lot of uproars in their political system because of their political system and nepotism and corruption and all these bad things that were happening.
The Nepo kids and all.
These guys, I didn't get what Nepo kids was. I thought there was a bad word for Nepalese kids, but it's not. The fact of the matter remains that these guys have done such a brilliant job. There's a young guy who's the new prime minister. Prime minister, what do you have in Nepal?
Is he a stand-up comedian?
Minister.
He's a prime minister. He's an ex-rapper.
Oh, he's a rapper. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Zelensky. He used to be a stand-up comedian.
Screw Zelensky right now. We're not talking about Vladimir. This is a 35 or 38-year-old politician.
35.
Talk about it, Willie.
Okay, so
Go on, Kristen. Talk about it.
name.
Well, whatever his name is, he's a 35-year-old. You say he's 38, right?
35.
He's 35, yes.
Go on, talk about him.
38.
So the prime minister, 35, I can't remember his name, and his home minister, who was a DJ. So once they came into power, they made a lot of changes in Nepal. One of them being they removed the VIP. I forgot what it's called. Culture. Yes, the VIP culture, where like when ministers pass by in their vehicles or convoys, all the traffic had to stop. So they abolished that rule, and like now even the politicians have to stop.
He's your Balendra Shah. He's called Balendra Shah.
Good
He's
for
the
this guy,
you're
dude.
talking
I
about.
love this. I absolutely love this, yeah? It's not even about that. Willie, you also mentioned a couple of other things where the politicians' kids have to go to public school. They can't go to private school. People for the last, I don't know how many previous politicians have to declare their wealth.
From 1992 till last one.
But that's what you need. That's what you need a Raghav Chadha here in India to be able to change these rules. And I love this kind of politics, right? Because this keeps people honest. This keeps the right people in politics for the right reasons. So when you have the transparency and you have the rules and laws that are being changed, these are what you would call archaic. You'd call these grandfather clauses kind of things.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's just people just like thinking they're better than everyone else because they're in a certain position of power.
Bring you into the 21st century, though.
Yeah.
The sad thing is Nepal's a small country, and it's a hell of a lot easier to implement it in Nepal than it is to do it in India.
They're definitely more cooler than us if they employ. I like to use the word employ because these are employees of the people.
Public servants.
Public servants.
True.
And they had the foresight. Definitely a younger generation would elect somebody like
What's the dude's name, Joanne?
Balendra Shah.
Yeah.
Who is a rapper.
Ex-rapper, and now he's a president.
He's the president, and you know what? He gave his first speech in as a rap. Check this out.
Are we gonna hear it? Can we hear it?
Let's forward this a bit.
You're shut. You're full of that's not his.
That's him.
That is not him.
Yeah.
We won't get shut down for copyright, will we?
I hope not. Oh, yes.
Dude, I think that is so cool. You know what? There was a lot of political instability. There was a lot of strife in that country.
Yeah, it was like discord had actually rallied a lot of people. No,
let me tell you, it was scary because people get fed up. People get tired after a while of being screwed over.
Yeah.
We work hard. We pay a lot of money in taxes, and you just get screwed royally year after year. And these guys stood up, and Gen Z's taking over. You've got a 35-year-old president. You've got a 38-year-old home minister, and they're changing the rules and law. Willie, you went through a whole list of these changes that they've made already, and I think it's brilliant. And I'd love to implement that in India. Some of these archaic laws and rules bring us into the 21st. Keep people honest. Keep public servants doing their jobs. The police.
They have to get to work on time and all of that. Yeah. Well, don't they?
What's wrong with that? That should be a no-brainer.
Yes.
So good for them. They're moving their country in the right direction, and it's starting right now. Don't reinvent the wheel. Do what's being done around the world and implement it into your own political, public, social system.
Yeah.
No?
But I think it's about that accountability. People are really
transparency,
longing for that accountability from everybody, you know, whether it's in your workplace or whether it's from your politicians. You just want to know that people are actually doing the right thing and working in your best interests.
I salute the Nepalese. I salute the new president. I salute the prime minister. All these people in office, and I respect these kind of people that get into government for the right reasons. My only prayer, my wish, is that this lasts.
Yeah.
And these guys don't get back into the bad habits. Gen Z, you've got a chance to prove to the world what you can do, how you can change an archaic, a very old Nepo system around the world with many countries still suffering, how you can bring it into the 21st century and make this change permanently.
But the thing is, it was a landslide victory. So you would hope
people are tired, they're fed up.
But you'd hope that they capitalize on that and they don't kind of, you know, generate any mischief around that because they've got the majority. You actually want to make sure that they maintain those principles, because there's been so many fragile coalitions over the years that these people really do have a true opportunity to make these changes last and, you know, do it for the right reasons and on a continuous basis.
Why can't we do more of that here?
Yeah, I was going to say that, firstly, it's sad that, you know, through strife, Nepal, you know, they've come to this point where people have realized, especially the younger generation. I think the whole upheaval that happened in Nepal was primarily because of blatant corruption, and the youth came out and protested. And at the cost of some of their lives, some of them died in those protests.
About 30
They
people
brought about this change, and I must salute the Nepalese people for thinking forward, electing somebody who is on their level.
You know how hard that is?
Yeah. You need a seismic change in your mentality. And I wish that would be the case here in India. Like, for example, we have to get rid of this VIP culture. And I don't know when we're going to be doing that. Like, you know what? The politicians should be able to feel and live like we do. Be stuck in traffic jams to be able to come up with solutions. How would you know or not know what the solution is if you don't feel the pain of the common man? So, you know, kudos to the Nepalese people. We are very proud of you. And I can't wait to see people here in India implement those kind of ideas, progressive ideas where there's accountability, no VIP culture. Have these guys stand in line like we do.
And he's got a smoking hot wife, dude. Did y'all flash a picture of the wife? Is that the wife? Not this one.
No, she's.
What's this? He's an ex-rapper, and he's made it to become. Listen, this is the forward thinking you need. You know what's really hard is or it's easy in Nepal because they've got a lot more young people, I would say. But in this country, you've got so many more minds, older minds to change. It'll take a huge movement. And until people really get tired of being screwed over and and the corruption and all the bad things that are happening, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. But you need people with the forward mindset, the education, the knowledge. I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. I'd love to be. Listen, if it just made me a politician just because I could rap easily on the mic, I would love to jump in and bust a rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Easily I approach the microphone because I ain't no joke.
Make it
Tell
original.
your mama to get NWA, baby.
Make it original.
No,
But you know what? We need people in this country to lead us who have not a chip on their shoulder, who think that they are the God's gift to us. They're not. We have employed them. And we need more leaders like this. Like
Raghav Chadha.
No, like this lady.
Conrad.
Do you know who this person is?
Hey, that's a Japanese prime minister.
Japanese Prime Minister.
Play the drums.
Oh, she is a drummer.
Yeah.
She is.
Check it
I'm a
out.
drummer. I play the drums. I don't think she's a drummer. I think she's a trumpet player, by the way she's playing the drums, dude.
She's amazing. And we need more people like this.
I think she's cool. I think she's great.
You know what? People who are not serious about themselves, they get the job done. But when it comes down to it, they're also fun. They think like us, like the common people. We need more people like this in India. Forget these old farts. They're out.
What are you trying to say, man? What are you trying to say?
They're done. Their ilk and their thinking is done. We need more fresh people elected who are cool.
Why don't
I
you
love
lead
this.
the way?
Huh?
Why don't you lead the way?
Ajoy.
I ain't that cool.
I know. Listen, K-pop drum duet between Japan and South Korea's leaders cap off summit talks. I think that is brilliant. Let your hair down. I want to see Donald Trump bust a move. I want to see Donald Trump breakdance.
I don't want to see
He
it.
does this
If he got down,
He's having a breakdown.
If he ever got down, he'd never get back up, boy. We wouldn't have these problems in Iran. No, but I think she's cool. I think she said, listen, can you imagine Japanese culture where women are so subservient and she's the prime minister, she's the big dog.
And she's playing the drums.
And she's out there on a world stage, letting her hair down, letting loose. But this is what I love about other countries where they can showcase some really, really massive differences and be different, but be leaders in your own right. Be proud of what you're doing and how you're shown on a world stage. I think that's great.
She's clearly a rock fan because she recently she met Deep Purple, and you can see that she loves
Deep Purple.
The big fan. She said that Deep Purple, you are my god. That's what she said.
You are my God. Japan's prime minister, British rock band, Deep Purple.
Did you say British rock band there?
Oh, shut up.
Did you? British rock band?
There's a couple of things the UK is famous for. The Brits are famous for. It's more American that set the standard for rock and roll.
Oh, is that right?
I don't want to get into it with my wife right now, but you know what? This makes you proud to be a Japanese person, that you're the leader of your country is not only smart, they've got charisma, they're not afraid to show themselves and make a fool or have a laugh, but in a good way, in a positive, in a way to be proud of, right?
It shows that you're human.
I wish. You think Narendra Modi ji would jump on a stage and bust a move?
I think he would do something like that. I think he would. He's quite tuned into the social media side of things, so I think he'd do that.
He's a smart guy. What?
When he goes to these villages, he drums, but not professionally.
And does he play like the Prime Minister of Japan? No. So then that ain't even close. I want Narendra Modi, when he goes to a place, to make me proud of whatever he may do. He's he's a world leader. He's the leader of one of the biggest economies, bigger the population in the world. But I'd love to be able to see the leader of our country just have a personality. You know what I'm saying? He's a great guy and he's very smart, but you want to see a different side. You don't want to see everything one-sided to him.
I think you do see a lot of that with him because, as I say, he's very tuned into social media. So his social media accounts are extremely active. So I think they're trying to show him as multidimensional across the board.
He's very stiff. He looks very stiff. I don't know. He's a smart guy, so he makes up with his brains. But the fact of the matter remains, I love these world leaders. People like the new president of Nepal. And the fact is that he's a young guy, and that's exactly what you need around the world to change a lot of the problems that are happening and have been happening for many, many centuries, decades. These things need to change. It's a lot easier in a smaller country like Japan and like Nepal than it would be to turn the ship around that you have this massive country like India.
Yeah.
And you need the people with the forward thinking and the foresight and you just need to come into the 21st century is all I'm saying, dude. Okay, that's enough of that. What are we talking about? Give me another topic.
So the next thing we're talking about is actually an Indian origin NHS worker in the UK. So that's the National Health Service in the UK. So she's a healthcare assistant. Now, with this name, I'm going to tell you, where do you think she's from? Because I wouldn't say she's generally speaking
India.
just from India.
Give me a name.
Hilda Estevez.
Spanish.
She's supposed to be Indian origin.
Oh,
Wouldn't
is she?
you say she's
Estevez.
maybe Portuguese origin, Goan origin, wouldn't you think?
What's the problem?
So apparently she's been awarded, some tribunal has awarded her some damages of 1.8 lakh because apparently one of her co-workers was repeatedly calling her Auntie instead
You're
of
kidding
calling
me.
her by her first name. So he's a Ghanaian guy and he's been calling her Auntie. So
She got awarded money because he called her auntie.
yeah, so she took it to a tribunal and she
my
was
God.
awarded this
Do not
money.
claim her as going. She is not going. We call all our elderly women matriarchs aunt, right? Auntie?
Yeah.
Auntie?
But the
Auntie?
thing is, I think this
Nobody
guy
giving me
was-
any money, man. I get called uncle all the time. I'll punch you in the nose for calling me uncle, dude.
There you go.
On the basketball court, they call me Unk. They call me Pappy because I'm older than all these young bucks and I don't get any money. She got how many lakh?
1.8 lakh. So, I mean, it's not an awful lot of money,
God.
but she's saying that, you know, some form of damages for hurt feelings because she'd requested for him to call her by her first name. However, they're saying culturally, he might have felt uncomfortable. You know, in the UK and in the US, you would call people more by their first name.
You would say
but-
Mrs. Britta or Mr. whatever the case. You wouldn't call him aunt or uncle. We would
know
do
what?
that in India.
Yeah, I think it was, you know what, he was actually spot on.
He was trying to be
In
respectful.
India, we call everybody, every second lady, auntie.
What small-minded person would take him to court?
Merv, you're not Pappy, you're Papichulo, by the way.
Ay, papi. No, the point I'm trying to make is it's a sign of respect. And at the end of the day, you would call it everywhere in the world, you'd say Mr. or Mrs., whatever the case. But here in India, we don't mean any ill will when we say auntie or uncle to somebody older.
I know, but if she's of Indian origin, why would she be offended by
She's
that?
not of Indian origin.
That's what it says.
Not at all. I'm not claiming her.
I'm
No
saying-
way in hell. You shouldn't have to take somebody to court because they called you. There's a lot worse things to be called to take somebody to court.
Yeah.
Not auntie or uncle. dude.
She still got 1.4 lakhs or 1.8 lakhs out of that.
Yeah.
I
could
think
be American.
She should be called auntie now from now on.
Should be called bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
whoa,
Why would you?
rewind.
Why would you be so small-minded to take somebody to court for calling you auntie? I'm upset. I'm. What's it called?
Hurt feelings.
Yeah, dude, you've insulted me. Come on.
But this is the thing. Sometimes some of these systems can go far too far in the opposite direction.
It's just because she could be American because they would do that in the States.
Just
Yeah.
now on live on the show, let's tell you that.
What?
Nothing.
She needed the money for a new iPhone.
Is that what it is? She
Is that
could
what they're
have.
saying online?
She's
Or
going to
is
get
that
some
your
more money out of
opinion, Neil?
Merv if she's hearing the show. I'll tell
Take
you
me
that
to
as well.
court. Take me to court. I'm ready to go to court. Okay, you know what? That's silly, and it's sad because that's a blemish on our culture because you'd never have an Indian person. She's got to be somebody who spent too many years in the UK to decide that you want to take somebody to court for calling me auntie. Anyway, whatever. That's not something. Can we talk about? Look at my background. This is a picture of a beach in Goa. I'm betting. Willie, is this a picture of a beach in Goa? Hey, son of a.
clue.
Huh? This is Morji. This is the far. No, this could be Palalam, dude.
This
'Cause
can be Ashwin Beach.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Rocks there.
This
Palawan
is-
doesn't have rocks, mate. Know
Who
your
said
beaches.
it's got rocks? I was in Palalam. It's got rocks. Are you kidding me? When's the last time you went to Palalam?
It's got rocks. If you're facing Palawan, it's got rocks to the left, not to the right.
I think you got rocks in your head, dude.
You got rocks
on the
somewhere else,
beach
mate. Don't teach me about my Goa.
I've got
you
big
don't know how to
rocks.
drink Urrak.
I've
Hey,
got big rocks.
You don't know how to read drink Urrak.
You don't have to read a rock. Spit it out, mate. It's easy for you
You
to say.
don't know how to drink Urrak. So
Speak
don't
about-
tell me about Palawan, baby.
Paralem. Hello, is this
All of a sudden,
Yusuf?
he's Yusuf Mataji.
Yeah.
Speak about, well, the reason I was talking about the ocean is we've got people that have come back from outer space.
Absolutely. So the Artemis 2 mission.
Artemis 3.
Artemis 2.
Artemis 3.
It's 2. What's wrong with
Is
you?
it 2?
Yes. So they basically splashed down on Friday. So essentially, there was human space flight to the moon for the first time in 50 years or so?
50 years since the last. Yeah, look at this.
So
dude. This is
essentially,
awesome.
they went to the dark side of the moon, which is phenomenal. So they were able to travel further than any humans had ever traveled before. So, I mean, even when they were flying around the moon, they were naming new craters. So they named a new crater Integrity after their spacecraft. And then also for the late wife of one of the astronauts, they called it Carol, which was a bright spot on the moon itself. They called this crater Carol in her memory and in her honor. So it was actually, they're again showing the human side of science also, that obviously this is like a huge mission and obviously billions has been invested in it. But then at the end of the day, it was actually 4 human beings, 3 from the US and 1 from Canada, that actually undertook this mission. So, you know, it's been extremely groundbreaking. There was some phenomenal images sent back from that.
They've traveled the longest in space.
Yeah.
Furthest in space. And
Yeah.
you know what I love about it? There were multiple countries involved. It was the US
Yeah.
and Canada.
Yeah.
And this is the positive side when you put your heads together, when you work together as a team.
Absolutely.
This is what it's all about. These guys have created history.
They really have. And I actually had heard the female crew member, she'd actually mentioned that obviously she was so happy to be back on Earth. She was really, really happy to be back on Earth. But what she was essentially saying was that what struck her about, aside from the amazing images of seeing the Earth from space, was actually just seeing how small the Earth looked and how it is just in a sea of darkness, that this huge planet that we live in is really just a speck within the whole of outer space.
Joanne, have you actually seen these videos that they show on, these are animations, but talking about the size of the stars, the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing. You know what? You look at one of those videos.
Yeah.
In fact, if you could travel to space and view Earth from afar, you really wonder why we fight so much. Really.
Of course, that's the whole thing, the chaos that's going on Earth right now at the moment, and which we'll maybe just touch on a little bit. But I have to say, when I went on a school trip to the National Geological Museum as a school trip up into London when I was younger, and I was so taken aback by all of the planets where it actually showed them. You know, there was like an exhibition, and then I learnt it. Shall I tell you the planets as they were? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So I learned all of those, and my mum thought I was going to be a geologist or something to
A geologist? You mean an astronaut?
No, a geologist or something to do with outer space. This was the
A geologist is not space, Joanne. An astronaut.
National Geological Museum. They were talking about space and obviously rocks and all of those kinds of things. So my mum thought that I'd be, have something involved with astronomy or not just geology.
The fact is, these guys have created history, and this makes you proud to be a human.
Yeah. Because today,
God almighty,
I'm just saying, today is recognizing International Human Spaceflight, the 12th of April itself. So this is recognizing, in 2011, it was recognizing the 50th anniversary of the first ever human spaceflight, which was Yuri Gagarin back in the 50s.
Okay. They spent 10 days in space, and this is something that makes you very, very proud.
Yeah.
Because these are countries working together for the good of everyone. There's so much negativity and all the crap that's happening right now with the Iran war, the Russia-Ukraine war, and there's enough problems we have on Earth.
Of course.
But this kind of stuff that they've done and the history they've created in a positive light to show how beautiful this planet actually is from afar. When you come closer, you have humans come and screw it all up. And
Yeah.
that's a sad thing. So on this anniversary, what is it? You said it's April 12th?
April 12th,
International
sorry.
Day of Human Space Flight.
Sorry, I'm correcting myself. It was 1961. It was the 12th of April 1961 was when he first ever went into space. So it's just showing how everything seemed to be on pause for the longest time, really. This happened in 61. And then, we've just sent humans back to the moon, since, first time since 1970. It's a long gap.
You know what? It's an amazing achievement for humans
Of
that
course.
they've reached the moon and beyond. But they've sent spacecraft to Mars, etc. Great achievement.
Yeah.
And you rightly said that if you put our minds together, we can do wonders.
Yeah, correct.
But troubling though is that you were talking about when at the then USSR astronaut made that momentous journey in the 1970s or 60s, you said?
61 it was. Yeah.
And at that time, it was the beginnings or the height of the Cold War.
And the space race.
It's a space race.
And
Yeah.
space race. And today, they're saying that this flight that they took to the moon, the Artemis 2, is in response to the pressures that the United States are getting from the China. In the space, it's another form of space war, and I wish it didn't have to be about that. It has to be about humans trying to be better, right?
Yeah.
That's all it should be. It should not be a war or this race to the moon and the race to this and the race to that.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit.
Well, I think it's Trump trying to reestablish the USA's strength in outer space, because you've got the International Space Station, but they've actually, only because of his initiative, they've kind of got it back on track in order to send humans back up there. And also the next step is obviously to send them back to the moon so that they'll land on the moon.
There's a couple of people that I'd like to send into space and not bring back.
Yeah, who's that?
I can't mention names on the air. dude. I can't. This is something that makes you proud to be human, to be part of civilization in a good way, in a good spotlight, because there's so much BS that's happening right here. Are we going to talk about Iran?
Well, no, I mean, I
don't feel like it, dude.
I just think we just have to say that we all have to act responsibly. I think that Trump was so irresponsible the way he was talking about wiping out a civilization earlier on in the week, and thankfully Pakistan actually did step in, to kind of pull it back from the brink at that point. But
Why couldn't India have stepped in? Why was it a place like because they've got a lot more Muslims?
Because of the religion.
Yes.
Do you think it's religion related?
I think it's the religion.
I wish India had stepped
Culturally
in.
and religiously, Pakistan is more
aligned.
and also I think they're more closer to the United States than India is to the United States.
Yeah, because
Historically speaking, India has aligned more towards Russia, and Pakistan has always aligned a little more to the
US?
Yeah.
I hope they get this sorted out, because you've got a lot of people that are struggling with prices. And there was these silly people that would actually make other people panic about petrol, gas, petroleum products, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We are still struggling with higher rates. People are still struggling. And my heart goes out to a lot of the commercial establishments that have had to struggle with gas, LPG gas, dude. They still don't have enough supply of commercial gas for commercial establishments.
Yeah.
You can get a gas cylinder in a home for residential purposes. So I hope they get this Iran silly situation. They've opened up, supposedly while they're in the talks, they've opened up the Straits of Hormuz, but people are still scared. Yeah, it's only a trickle of ships, mate.
Yeah.
And it's sad because you have these people that propagate all these crises and make silly, uneducated or people less learned panic about these things. So you don't need to.
Absolutely.
So relax, chill the hell out. These things will sort themselves out in times. At the end of the day, it just teaches humans to be more resilient.
Yeah.
And more. You wanted to talk about this dude that's helping to clean the planet.
As in,
That's a good story, dude.
It was a story that came sometime back, about 1.5 2 weeks back. Have you heard of the Ocean Cleanup Project?
Yes, they clean up oceans.
So, yeah.
Really? Say what you see. Say what you see.
So basically, it's a global initiative to clean up our, like you rightly said, our oceans.
Wow, look at this.
And they're coming to Mumbai.
5 million kgs.
Good on them.
So they're coming to Mumbai as a pilot project to starting cleaning up our rivers and our oceans here. And I think they're going to find a lot to do here, considering how we pollute our cities.
Who is this? What's the initiative by the government? Who's doing it?
It's called the Ocean Cleanup Project.
Wow, dude, that is cool. Look at the garbage.
So these are from previous projects, but you can imagine that it would be the case here because, hey, we pollute our rivers very badly.
Forget about the rivers, pollute our oceans. Go to the beach, you see flipping litter everywhere. Go to this. But this is a good thing to end the show on. You know what? I love the fact that this is an initiative because there's so much garbage in the ocean. And people don't realize how important a role the ocean worldwide, all the different oceans, these bodies of water, play in the ecosystem, but also how you've got silly, stupid people that don't believe in global warming.
And this microplastic.
Trump is one of them,
impact,
by the way.
I know.
Microplastic they're finding in fish and all kinds of... Listen, the plankton around the world is the life source of everything that happens from climate change to it's sad and it's nice. It's a positive thing that's all garbage he's showing on the screen, dude.
So basically the premise is that, all the plastics come through the rivers. So they build these purposely built barricades which are environmentally friendly, allow life forms could survive in this muck and this plastic. They build these platforms which trap the plastic before it enters the ocean, and they remove the plastic. So it's a very simple design, a simple idea, theoretically speaking, but greater impact. But I think they have to couple that with informing and teaching our dear Indians not to throw crap into the river.
Not to litter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that comes from education from a very young age. Teach these kids how to respect the environment.
Yeah.
How to respect one another, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. Listen, it's something that can be ingrained in kids in their upbringing, and they're going to go forth and multiply and have their own kids. And you've got to start somewhere. It's scary to see the amount of garbage in these bodies of water, dude.
It's terrible.
It's scary because this all ends up in your body.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, they can even do that experiment on the Mandavi River.
Yeah.
Where they
What was
found
the experiment?
As in, try and do the cleanup on the Mandavi River, because apparently, according to the latest research, our fish from the river has a lot of microplastics in it.
Yeah. But we've all got them in our system, and that's the whole thing.
And they call what do they call forever plastics, forever chemicals, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's scary. It's sad.
Yeah.
That's a good story to end. Can we?
Can I have a more light-hearted story?
Like what?
Well, a young kid who went on a shopping spree. A little toddler.
Did he take somebody's car?
A toddler in the US, a 22-month-old little boy of Indian origin, in fact.
No.
Yeah.
He's smart.
Yeah.
At 22 months
22
old.
months, yeah.
He's got to be Indian.
So he spent 1.5 lakh. Essentially, his mum had actually been doing online shopping in Walmart, and she'd put about 1.5 lakh worth of goods in her shopping cart, but hadn't checked out. However, the young boy actually had checked out the goods. So they started getting deliveries. So they only found out once they started getting deliveries of the equipment, the furniture. So like flower pots, flower
Is that him on the
stands.
screen? He's a couple of months. How old is he? Sorry,
So 22 months old he is.
That's less than 2 years old.
Yeah. So he's Ayanash, and his mum is Madhu Kumar. And
At Walmart.
Yeah. Apparently.
You know how much you've got to order a couple of lakhs worth of furniture? My God.
You know what I think, right?
What?
What's that?
That poor kid is a scapegoat for the mom's shopping.
Oh,
that's what happened.
Is that what you think? Okay, so maybe
look at the guy. He's clueless. He's clueless. He's like he doesn't know what the hell is happening. His mom probably ordered it and put it on this poor chap so that the mom doesn't have to face the dad.
Well, apparently the dad, Pramod, he actually said, well, we've learned a lesson here.
He surely did.
He said we need to put stronger passwords or face recognition on our gadgets and devices. So yeah, this young guy, obviously he's learning early, emulating early, but maybe the wrong kind of habits at this pace.
Poor chap.
But yeah, they live in New Jersey in the US. So anyway, it's a little bit of a light-hearted story to end with. Apparently Walmart have said that they can get full refunds. They can send all the stuff back
I'm sure
once
they can.
all their deliveries have arrived.
I'm sure they can. And that is a lighthearted story to end the show on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and joining us for another edition of the Murbrita Show.
We've got a bank holiday coming up on Tuesday, though, haven't
What's
we?
the name? Oh, Baba Ambedkar.
Yeah.
Can that in? 14th,
Tuesday.
right?
Yeah.
Tuesday. No, it's
Yeah.
not. What is today?
Tuesday.
Yeah,
12th,
today's the 12th, so 14th.
13th, 14th. So Tuesday.
Yeah.
Baba, can you tell me what Baba Ambedkar was famous for, by the way? One of the things he was famous for?
You tell me.
Dalit rights.
There you
There
go. The untouchables.
Yeah,
And that's why
very good
he's held in such high regard. Tuesday
Tuesday.
is
Yeah, yeah.
Baba Ambedkar. There's a name for the holiday, no?
Jayanti.
Ambedkar Jayanti.
Ambedkar Jayanti. Good man. He was a great man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to the Murbrita Show. We try to bring a different touch, a different viewpoint, a different spin on stories that are happening right now, not only in our lovely Goa, in India, and around the world. We do this because we're passionate about what we do and we love this place. And sadly, we're seeing it change for not with always the right reasons.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We want to showcase more of these good things. And we've had people contacting us about some new interesting guests to have on the show. Oh, yeah, by the way, the girl that was the colour of nothing, that exhibition is going on until the 19th. So that opened on Friday.
Geetanjali in Museum, no, it's a Gallery Geetanjali in Panjim.
Correct. Yeah. So we've had a lot of feedback from that, which is fabulous. So yeah, it's the exhibition is still on until the 19th. And of course you can buy the book as well.
Speaking of feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put these on the screen right now, all our social media handles. If you're enjoying the show, if you like what we do, if you have a couple of suggestions, we'd love to know about it. Check out our pages on all the different places where you get your social media. If you want to know more about the Murbrita Show, we've got a website called themurbritashow.com, www.themurbritashow.com. We'd love to hear from you. There's a number on WhatsApp, 750-724-6246. We're not doing comments today. We're at the end of the show, right?
No.
We will do some very, very soon. You guys, any shout outs, anything you want to talk about other than Ambedkar Jayanti?
Just basically wishing everybody a great week ahead, and let's just try and keep positive onwards and upwards, and just try and be as positively influential as we possibly can when we're out in the big wide world.
Take care of yourselves and one another. We've enjoyed doing what we do, and we hope we've entertained you. If you like what we do, support us, tell people about us. But until next Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Merv Brito, and on behalf of this team here in the studio, until next Sunday, I'm out.